All right, welcome back to Division 1 here at the league, round 6 at Suzuka. We've got a 9-lap sprint race coming up. Our drivers will be starting the grid in reverse, I believe in reverse championship order. The grid has yet to be set at the moment, I believe. We're waiting on Dinosaur to start the race soon. He gave us the 2-minute warning. So we'll be underway very shortly. All right, so let's go over the current championship standings for the league for Division 1. Right now, Willie leads the championship with 119 points. Stolz is in second place with 101. Sir Hams is in third place with 78. Racing for Minardi Ford. V8 Eater, also racing for Minardi Ford, is in fourth place with 58 points. Ryder, something's weird in the results here. So it says V8 Eater, it says V8 Eater is in fourth place with 58 points, but Ryder is in fifth with 63. Oh, okay, I see where my mistake is here. Okay, so these are the total points, but we have a 1 week drop system where we drop your lowest points for a particular week. And so with the points after the drop, V8 Eater stands in fourth place with 58 points. And then Ryder and Taco Colazzo are tied for fifth place with 56 points, only 2 behind V8 Eater. So fourth place is up for grabs. Seventh place, Little Goron with 48 points. Eighth and ninth, Harm's Way and Arya tied for 8th. Accession in 10th place with 38 points. Ads in 11th with 31. Little Jacob in 12th with 27. We have D-Slove 13th. We have Distinct Philo in 14th. For Gold 15th. Dutra in 16th. I believe both of those will be not racing for the rest of the season. And we have D-Jax, Inamayari, and Riley in 17th, 18th, and 19th. Our grid is set and looks like we're ready to go, so we'll be joining the grid right away. Again, this is 9 laps around Suzuka for our sprint race. We'll get started very, very shortly. So lights out and the action starts now. Ads gets a really good start here going down the front straight. Looks like Arya gets a pretty good start. Goran gets a pretty good start too. Has the inside to Cecil Turtle, but Ads breaks quite a lot there into turn 1, and Accession is able to get the lead from Ads going into turn 1. Ads also gave up a position there to Little Goran, but he takes it back right away. And I think they collided there in the S's. Team Benetton there with a catastrophic incident between the two of them. Luckily, none of them got access. I didn't even know it. I didn't even see if they even had contact there. It didn't look like they had contact. It looks like both of them just made a mistake, one right after each other. Huge, gutted, absolutely huge mistake between both Benetton drivers. Gutted for the team right now, but I hope they'll be able to come back from this as best as possible in this race. So Ads now sitting in ninth place, Goran in 8th. Willie there coming up on Cecil Turtle, coming towards 130R, and he will have the outside line though. Cecil Turtle decides to back out. Willie will take 6th position. Right there, getting alongside Arya, coming down into turn 1. Ryder has the front, the inside line, but Arya has the outside. And when it comes to turn 1 at Suzuka, it seems like the outside line is slightly better. Both of the Minardi drivers in 4th and 5th place. Willie almost 3 seconds behind the Minardi team. Take a quick look at that restart. Let's see if we can catch what exactly happened here. So there's a little bit of contact between Cecil and I think it was Arya. See if we can see what happens between Ads and Goran here. So Ads loses position to Accession and Goran. Goran goes a little wide there, and then oh no, they just both understeer off into the side there. Arya forced to take an inside defensive line against Ryder going to the Casio triangle. But Ryder not able to capitalize on getting a better exit. But he will have the slipstream coming down the front straight. I don't think it will be enough though. Both of them though gaining ground on Accession a little bit in this last lap. Really now catching up to the Minardi team. Arya now right up against the rear wing of Accession. Car's going through 130R. Oh, Arya going deep into the brakes, goes deep into the chicane though, but keeps the position. And now Ryder has some exit speed, but isn't able to make any use of it. Doesn't have the overlap going into turn 1. Now everyone's getting backed up from 2nd to 6th place here. Oh, the Minardi teammates get side by side. Sir Hames goes wide. Oh no, and he comes across Willie's car and gets nailed by the McLaren. Ryder was able to pass Accession, it looks like. Let's see if we can catch the replay. No. Already happened by then. Now V8 Eater will be looking to make an overtake on Accession as well. Arya is already several seconds ahead. V-Eater has a slipstream. Oh, and Accession leaves room down in turn 1. There's a little bit of contact between the two of them. Good pass by Cecil Turtle there. Goran makes a squeeze through as well. And V8 Eater made it past Accession as well, so we didn't catch that on camera, unfortunately. down to the Casio triangle one last time. A pretty commanding lead for what's a sprint race, 9 laps. So Arya will cross the line in first place. Ryder will take second. V8 Eater running out of fuel, it looks like. Oh my goodness. V8 Eater ran out of fuel. Accession will take third place. V8 Eater runs out of fuel. Willie crosses the line in 5th place. Cecil Turtle just ahead of Little Goron, crosses the line in 6th. Goron in 7th. Ads will take 8th, and then Sir Hames, with all of that damage, will take 9th place. Sir Hames with that pretty bad incident at Degner 1. Or I should say between Degner 1 and Degner 2. Will take 9th place for the sprint race. All right, so we got qualifying for 10 minutes, and then we'll have our Division 1 feature race here at Suzuka. 37 laps around the, I think it's a 3-mile circuit, 3.6-mile circuit. And as you can see from the weather forecast, we'll have cloudy weather for the first 3 sections of the race. And then the rest will be random, so there is a chance of rain. Probably a low chance of rain. I can't expect it to be very high. Gran Turismo's algorithm for choosing rain tends to be very selective against rain, I think. But we'll see. I think it'll be pretty interesting to see if we do end up having rain at some point. Dinosaur gave me the 30-second warning for qualifying, so we'll get started with qualifying here in a bit. And I think I'll take a 10-minute commentator's voice break. So if you guys want to see someone in chat, or if you guys want to see someone, just let me know in chat and I can pan the camera around. Just let me know what you guys want to see, who you guys want to see on track, who you're rooting for, who your teammates are. Just let me know. All right, so let's take a look at our qualifying grid results. So V8 Eater with pole position, there was quite the battle there for pole position towards the closing laps of qualifying. Ryder had initial provisional pole position for a little bit, and V8 Eater stole it in the pretty much last lap of qualifying. So V8 Eater on pole position, starting next to Ryder with only with a lap time of only 0.08 of a second slower than V8 Eater. Arya starting in third, Willie in fourth. We have Sir Hames in fifth. Accession starting from sixth place, adds seventh. Little Goron, the other Benetton car, in eighth. We have Cecil Turtle starting from ninth place. Relatively light grid today. We're missing a couple of cars here. I think we're missing V8 Eater, actually. I think V8 Eater must have disconnected. It seemed like V8 Eater's connection was pretty slow on that last lap. It looked like it was pretty laggy. So I think we'll wait for V8 Eater to come back before we attempt to start the race. If you're just joining us, we are Learners Racing Collective, LRC for short. We're a Discord community that runs a lot of events. The league is our main event essentially throughout the year. It's an 8-week season where 28 drivers split between 2 divisions, so 14 each. And the 28 drivers are also divided into 7 teams with 4 people in each team. One of the unique things about our league is that we focus on the team aspect. And so the faster drivers in each team are incentivized to teach and mentor the other drivers in the group in order to get best team results. And so the league happens to be a very collaborative series. There's a lot of working together, there's a lot of strategizing, there's a lot of talking about techniques and racing lines and times. A lot of teamwork happens throughout the league, and it's really exciting to see the teams and the team captains kind of work together and pull a weekend together. Good performance when it all comes together. So we also have something called the Academy as well. The Academy, this cohort specifically, is focused on pretty early beginners, those people still learning to understand what it's like to drive on the limit of grip, how to drive the car, how to feel understeer and oversteer. Essentially, learn the fundamentals of racing a car, whether it's a sports car or formula car. And the Academy is I believe it's a 7-week program that we have that goes through sort of all of the fundamentals. So just there's the first week was just understanding grip. The second is cornering fundamentals. The third is corner complexes and other fundamentals around corner complexes. So if you're interested in joining like a group that has a collaborative aspect to learning and getting better instead of a cutthroat competitive side, then definitely feel free to check us out. I pinned our Discord invite link into chat, so feel free to click on that and you'll get thrown into our server. We also have a bunch of one-off events as well in our off season, and during the league season as well. So feel free to join those as well. One of the things that we prioritize in terms of values at LRC is our sportsmanship. So we require all drivers to pass a sort of sportsmanship license test or evaluation. And that simply is just to have people be familiar with our passing etiquette rules and stuff so that we can have an extremely high racing standard in every event that we do. So if you're looking for clean racing or learning how to get faster, definitely check us out. Again, our invite link to our Discord is pinned in chat, so check us out there. Dinosaur has given us 3-minute warning. So it looks like we'll be starting the feature race very shortly. It's 37 laps around Suzuka. And again, it looks like the weather here, we have rain. So we've got RO3, RO7, RO4 for the first 5-minute blocks of the race. So we will be starting the race on wets. In the league for this specific season, there are no intermediates, so we're trying to emulate the 1993 Formula One season as best as possible. So there will be no intermediate tires, only wets available. We will see if drivers will choose to use the wets here. It looks like the ground is not wet enough to use the wet tire. As you can see on the bottom left corner, there's the moisture reading on track, and it's below the first third. So if it's below the first third, then usually dried slicks are the way to go. The question is whether or not we'll get more rain as the race continues. Looking at the radar here. So we got quite a bit of rain past 30 minutes, it looks like. And then there's another system there, and it looks like there'll be another one coming shortly. You see that? So it looks like there will be more rain towards the end, as the race starts. I saw like another panel of blue there at the bottom at the current time point. You see that? There it is. Yeah, there's a really big system coming in. Yeah, I think McLaren cars are running a livery that has Marlboro written in Japanese. Yeah, the characters read, with my limited Japanese knowledge, it's Maruboro. So you pronounce Maruboro. Look at that. The track is completely dry in some of these sections. All right, so 30 seconds and we'll get started with this race. Again, we will see how the race unfolds once it starts. I think there will be more rain after the race starts, so we'll see a bunch of cars diving into the pits, potentially around somewhere probably within the first 10 laps, maybe even earlier. And there we go. We see the rain pouring down right now. And you can see the meter there increasing quite a bit in just like half a lap. So it's essentially going to be heavy rain within the first couple of laps, actually. All right. Round 6 at Suzuka. We have our 5 lights. And our lights are out and the action starts now, so V8 Eater gets a good start. The ground is slightly wet. It looks like Ryder gets a good start too, maintains his position in second. Arya is third. Oh, and looks like there was a little bit of an incident there. Arya got into the back of Ryder going into turn 1. I don't know if that'll be a VSC. Yeah, that will likely be a VSC. Arya says GG. If Ryder does the same, I believe that will trigger our VSC rules. Take a look at that again. I don't know if Ryder took damage though. Did Ryder take? Yeah, he definitely took damage. Okay. As of now, though, there's no VSC in action. Yeah, I'm really surprised there's no VSC being called here. Oh, here it is. Yep. So they raced to the line, and then it looks like a few cars dived into the pits. Arya dove into the pit for damage. Everyone else is staying out. Cecil jumps into the pits. Sir Hames jumps into the pits as well. It looks like Sir Hames is going to switch to wets. Or Sir Hames started on wets even. It'll be interesting to see if Sir Hames stays on the wet tires. Nope, Sir Hames jumps onto slicks. Ryder will be coming in and just fixing some damage. So the pack will catch up to V8 Eater. And it's getting quite dark out. I think our rain will be coming soon. I wonder if it will start raining even before we get the safety car restarted. I suspect a lot of cars will just dive into the pit if that were the case. This is going to be very interesting. We got restarted here, V8 Eater. Taking us through the Casio triangle. Willie likely has the slipstream, but will it be enough to get alongside before turn 1? I don't think so. Willie though, Accession though, finding himself alongside Goran going into turn 1. Goran taking a place. And now Arya wants a piece of the action as well, but Arya not able to slide through. They go side by side through the first part of the S turns. Oh my goodness, and they make contact there. Let's see if we can catch that on replay. We just caught out there. Cecil Turtle goes to defend, and Sir Hames goes deep on the outside line, not able to keep the car on track. Ryder goes through. Ryder making up several positions after the incident on lap 1. Goes side by side with Cecil Turtle coming down into 130R. A lot of wheel-to-wheel contact there going into 130R between Cecil and Ryder. Cecil Turtle decides to stay out. V8 Eater stays out. The rest of the cars are coming into pit, so Willie will probably switch to wets. All the way from Goran, Arya, Ryder, Sir Hames, and Accession. Let's see if Ads will stay out. I think Ads will likely jump into the pits as well. Yeah, so Ads will jump into the pits. So here's the deal. Will this pay off? Will V8 Eater staying out on track be worth hitting one lap later? Oh, the rain is pouring now, but yeah, he's starting to get a little bit of slippage here. It's not quite into that, past that first third. It's just getting there, and this is where things start getting slippery. So Willie still within the lap time delta, I think, of 23 seconds. I think that's still below a pit and tire change. So we'll see if V8 Eater can actually come out ahead here. 130 yards is going to be extremely sketchy under these conditions. He just needs to keep the car on track. It's going to be extremely close between the two cars. Oh my god, this is so close. Alright, so Willie's making his way down already. Willie's just gonna start coming out of the pits, and they're right. Oh my god, so they come out right next to each other. Willie makes it just past V8 Eater. V8 Eater will have to keep warm up his tires, but it almost paid off. But V8 Eater did come out ahead of Arya. Not only that though, V8 Eater will have fresher wets for the entire time it's raining, so that could actually be a huge advantage if this rain continues. Ryder there having a little bit of difficulty. He did pick up damage there, losing a little bit of control at the Dunlop curve. Ryder there with some good throttle control coming out of the hairpin. Makes the pass on Goran. Everyone's being extremely cautious in the wet weather conditions here. Goran there almost losing control of the car. Coming out of the hairpin. Good save by Goran. already starting to have to look after the tires. They're starting to overheat. You can see them drive offline to get those tires wet on the straights, keep them cool, to prevent them from degrading too fast. I think this is where V8 Eater's advantage of having 1 lap extra in the dry. He was able to keep the wet tire compound off the dry for a few corners, and will thus have better tire wear through the rest of the stint. See, if you look at Willie and everyone else, Willie has been conserving the tires quite well. Arya goes off for the hairpin. And Sir Hames, though, they make a little bit of contact coming out. Looks like there's no harm, no foul. Right here with a little bit of damage still on that front left, still able to keep up. Further down the pack, we have a Session, currently 6th place. Little Goran in 7th, with damage on that front left. Adds in 8th place. And Cecil jumped onto the mediums, so Cecil Turtle going bold with the slick tires. The question is, will everyone else do it? I think everyone else will. We'll see. So Willie stays out 1 more lap. It is quite damp in some of these corners though, so V8 Eater comes out on hard compound tires. Now the tricky part will be keeping the car within the dry line as the track continues to dry up. But getting your car even a tire, even 1 tire, like a fraction of a tire on the wet part of the track will make your car severely understeer and slide off the track. So at this point, it's a game of how fast can you go, but also how careful can you be in every single corner. And as I say that, Sir Hames there slides quite a bit coming into Degner 2. Let's take a look at what happened here. Probably went too wide in Degner 1. Yeah, caught a little bit of curb and a little bit of that grass there on the entrance of Degner 2. Alright, so Willie's tires are pretty dead. And the gap is only 14 seconds, so I think V8 Eater might be able to take the lead before Willie is able to rejoin the track. Yeah, so V8 Eater is already into turn 1. Staying out an extra lap did not pay off for Willie. And he finds himself 5 seconds down, 6 seconds down from V8 Eater. So good play by V8 Eater to pit early and able to keep the car on track on that dry line. Everyone will be doing their best to avoid the curbs on this intermediately wet track. The curbs can still be wet and extremely slippery. there picking up damage and having to pit. Looks like Arya picked up damage too. I'm curious as to whether they picked up damage at the same time here. Oh no! Oh my goodness, it looks like Sir Hames picked up damage trying to avoid Arya. Let's look at that again. Hold on, let me go back to that. Oh yeah, he tries to avoid him there. So Ryder picks up 2 positions. Drying up pretty quickly. Looks like some of these curves are even dry already. Yeah, unfortunately, Sir Hames picked up damage. He had pit. Fortunately for him, he was right at the pit entry, and so he didn't waste too much time. Oh no, and Willie went off. Look at that. Willie went off into turn 1. Luckily, he didn't pick up any damage. Let's see if we can catch what happened here. Oh yeah, you got some tires into that wet section. As I was mentioning earlier, if you get a tire in there, you have to pretty much say goodbye to the rest of the turn. Oh no! NX Session has an incident there all by himself at the exit of Degmo 2. Oh no. Seems like maybe there was like a puddle there or something. Really nice pass there by Sir Hames. Passing accession going down to the Casio triangle. I was concerned there for a second because he got on the wet side of the track, and I was wondering if he was going to be able to brake in time. And there he goes. Very nice. Oh no. There we go. Had some technical difficulties there. So V8 Eater with a 14-second lead over Ryder. Ryder pulling out a gap ahead of Willie. It was 5 seconds earlier, and now it's 7 seconds. Sir Hames sitting comfortably in 4th place at the moment. All of our drivers are quite spread out now. Not too much going on in terms of battling. Let's take a look at strategy here. So V8 Eater is using racing mediums. Same with Ryder and Willie. They're all in racing medium compound tires. Looks like Willie is conserving his tires a little bit more than the first two cars. Sir Hames on hard tire compounds. And with the rain tire being used, there's no longer any rule requiring a tire change, so they've all satisfied that rule, so you can go to the end of the race with the same tire compound if you wanted to. Cecil Turtle on mediums as well. Accession just made a pit stop due to that damage, is now on mediums as well, and same with ads. So the medium being the tire of choice at the moment. Ryder there loses a little bit of time to ads through 130R. Makes a nice tidy pass though coming into the Casio triangle. Willie has closed the gap to 4.5 seconds. And V8 Eater's continuing to open the gap ahead of Ryder out in front. now almost nearly 18 seconds. Gets by Ads there to continue his pursuit behind Ryder. into the pits and changing tires. V8 Eater elected to go with racing hard tires, while Ryder and Willie stick to medium. As of now, it doesn't look like any more rain is going to affect our race, but that's purely speculative. Hey, thank you for the follow, Borat. Well, Goran closing in on Accession, closing the gap down to just over a second. Accession really feeling the pressure here. Accession really feels the heat in the S's, and you will see this coming up soon. So Accession's tires are starting to wear red pretty seriously now. We're on with the advantage coming through the sector 1. Question is, will Little Goran be able to find an opening to pass Accession? Megalith, thanks for following. If you are just joining us, we're LRC, stands for Learners Racing Collective. We're watching Division 1 of our league right now. The feature race at Suzuka, 37 laps. Little Goran there getting real close to Accession. Arrow wash there, unable to allow Goran to follow closely through Spoon. But he will close the gap to Accession down these straights as he takes advantage of the slipstream, going into 130R. Accession takes a defensive line there. Goran, though, stays close. He will have a very good exit, following very closely behind Accession. Again. Goran being patient, looking, maybe even waiting for an opportunity to for Accession to make a mistake, trying to make it easy for Goran, but Accession is doing anything but at the moment. Those tires on Accession's car are looking very, very worn out. Accession there taking the defensive line into the hairpin. Accession doing a really nice job defending here against Little Goran. Oh no, and it looks like Ryder must have had another incident. Ryder picked up some damage, and now Willie has taken second place. Here we go, Little Goran with the slipstream coming down into the Kazuya Triangle. Accession takes another defensive line. Little Goran taking the wide entry to get a better exit. Oh, and to get alongside, they touch tires. Oh, and then Accession decides to pit for new tires. They're ending the battle. I kind of wish they went around Suzuka one more time to get even more of a battle between these two, but Accession decided it was time for new tires, so he jumped into the pits. Looks like Accession will come out way ahead of Cecil Turtle as well. Cecil will be coming out very quickly on Accession. Accession with a tire advantage though. I wonder who. So Willie now is trying to get past Cecil Turtle at the moment. Blue flag rules at LRC are slightly different than what you'd see in Formula One. It's more typical of regular sports car blue flag rules. The car being passed is not entitled to move out. It's not required to move out of the way. They're entitled to the line, but they should not battle the overtaking car. So Cecil here will stay on his line. And Willie here will take advantage of the slipstream to get past Cecil Turtle on the straight. Cecil Turtle there. Or sorry, and Willie. Or both of them, really. The V8 Eater still with a commanding lead with 14 seconds. All of our cars still spread out quite a bit. Ryder still with that damage on the front right. Yeah, I like seeing the view of the hairpin with the left side being the entrance and the right side being the exit. Really nice perspective of the corner that you don't typically get to see. This one right here. Oh, the 8-eater makes a minor mistake there coming out of spoon. The eater perhaps feeling the pressure, even though he still has a 12-second lead. So this will be interesting. I think the eater will attempt to go the rest of the way. The rest of the race on the on the hard tires, and I think that might clinch the race win for V8 Eater. It looks like Willie will have to pit one more time. Ryder, I believe, will be set for the rest of the race, but I think Willie is in a comfortable second place finish position. Sir Hames, I think, will be good to go to the end as well. So if Minardi can capture a 1-4 win here, that'd be huge for their championship standings. Willie coming up on Accession, his teammate. Session lets him go through, but again, it appears Willie will have to make another pit stop. Surely he won't go to the end on those racing mediums. He could prove me wrong though, we'll see. Currently in 7th place, Cecil Turtle in 8th. That's in 9th place. So Willie dives into the pits. We'll have to concede being able to attack for first place. Well, it's questionable now whether or not V8 Eater will be able to finish the race on these hard tires. I think if V8 Eater nurses them, I think he'll be able to. It will certainly be worth it. I don't think it would be worth pitting and losing nearly 20 seconds just to gain a couple seconds in the final laps of this race. So Ryder, despite having a difficult start to the race, has climbed up back into third place on the podium. So good recovery drive for Ryder. Okay, so things are getting interesting. V8 Eater went into the pits to change tires with a 20-second lead. The pit delta, I believe, is 15 seconds or something along those lines. And here comes Willie coming down the straight, and V8 Eater is just coming out of the pits. Willie has him in his sights. So both are on racing soft tire compounds. Willie, though, a couple laps older, which could make a significant difference if V8 Eater is able to be consistent and manage those tires in the last couple of laps, or these last couple of laps. I think he'll have no trouble holding on to the lead, but it suddenly now is much closer than it appeared earlier on. Willie has taken the fastest lap as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a race on. Following Montesquaro. For those of you watching and are unfamiliar with our league, We are LRC. We're not just a league, we're a sim racing community. Our theme is collaborative learning. So if you like to learn how to get faster in a group setting with a very supportive group of people, definitely check us out. Our Discord invite is pinned in chat. So just click on that link and you'll join our Discord server. We run a league about 2 to 3 times a year. It's 8 weeks long, and then we have an academy as well. So our academy runs 6 or 7 weeks long, and we teach the fundamentals of racing to anyone who wants to learn. Our group also has a very high standard for passing guidelines and passing etiquette. We make sure our members read our passing guidelines before they join any of our races. So we do a lot to keep the racing clean here at LRC. And I think that's what our members appreciate the most about our community is the cleanliness of our races, and then also just the sportsmanship too. The sportsmanship is really, really great, and the camaraderie around between the team members is just very, very tight. It's very, very nice. The V8 Eater showing that there was no risk to taking a set of soft tires is now opening the gap to Willie, taking the fast lap as well. So V8 Eater making a statement. We're at the final lap. V8 Eater just needs to bring the car home. Willie now struggling on his tires. I think the only thing now that would prevent V8 Eater from winning would be himself. Last week, V8 Eater was penalized for, I think, an incident with Stoles. He's coming back this week extremely strong, with an extremely strong performance. Going from taking pole position in qualifying, taking the fastest lap as well, winning the race. And just a few corners left, so V8 Eater makes his way through the exit of Spoon Corner, down the back straight towards 130R for one last time. And what a great performance by V8 Eater. Solid race through and through, with all the challenges around the wet weather, the gamble to stay out in the rain for one extra lap, making it work, Willie takes second place with only 5 seconds behind V8 Eater. It's a close race. Didn't seem like it through and through, but in the closing stages, Willie taking the soft tires and V8 Eater deciding to take the soft tires as well made the race seem much closer than it was. So Ryder with a difficult start to the race as well. I think Ryder ended up being hit from behind. I think it was by Arya, I believe. Taking damage on lap 1, triggering a safety car, but climbing his way back up to 3rd place. And then Sir Hames with an excellent drive as well, taking home in 4th place for Minardi, Team Minardi. So pretty solid result for Team Minardi with a 1-4 finish. There you go, as Sir Hames crosses the line. We got Little Goron in 5th, Accession 6th, Cecil Turtle in 7th, and then Ads in 8th place. All right, so let's take a look at the results one more time. So V8 Eater will be our race winner with the best lap as well. Willie in 2nd place, Ryder rounding out the podium finish places. Sir Hames will take 4th place, Little Goron 5th, Accession 6th, Cecil Turtle 8th, and Ads in 9th place. But Ads in 8th place, and then Arya in 9th. All right, so that will be it for us for round 6 at Suzuka. We will have one more round for the league at Bathurst at Mount Panorama. That's going to be absolutely crazy with these cars. But next week will be the final race of the season. And then we'll have a couple of months break. We'll focus on our academy. We'll focus on one-off events and recruiting. And again, if you're new to LRC and you haven't joined us yet, definitely click on that pinned link in chat. Join us on Discord and join us on track as well. If not, if you're just here to spectate, hit that follow button and follow us on Twitch. And we will see you next week.